Just do it. Just do it. Just take his life, Nakaba. Stop playing these games at this point. Stop wasting my time. If you're gonna do it this hard, just get rid of him! Thank you to our final patrons, Strawbones, Red4765, Midnight Gemlord, Sean, and Artgoon. Now, we're on this breakdown / review and discussion of chapter 93 of Four Knights of the... Please don't forget to leave your own list on the chapter in the comment section down below. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, hit that little notification while seeing us out on any videos that come on the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon down below. You support for as low as $1 monthly, exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Some of those perks include the live reaction to this very chapter. Now, let's hop into chapter 93. What's up, guys? I'm here, and here we are to have a breakdown and discussion of last week's poll. So, last week I ended up asking y'all, out of all the new characters that were introduced, who was your favorite? You had a couple options here. You had Derriere Light, you had Hugo Strange, you had Merlin Light, and you had the matchmaker, the Chad himself. And, you know, I don't know what I expected. Or I was like, I was like halfway. I was so close to just not including Merlin Light. It was like, I was half a second away. It was so infinitesimally close because I know y'all. I've seen the comments. I saw people talking about it before I even reviewed the chapter. That's how down atrocious some of y'all are. And you know, it is the current year, so I can't judge y'all verbally. But still, the four options. Overwhelmingly, like it's literally not even close. Like you could combine the lowest three and it would still be less than it would still be less than half of the overwhelming winner. With 67% of the vote, Merlin Light or Madrigal ended up winning. I'm like, it's not that I'm mad, nor am I really disappointed. I understand. Y'all are, you know, this is I think Nakaba knew what he was doing, and y'all knew what you were doing, so I can't be mad at it. Personally, I'm more rocking with the third place Hugo Strange, mainly just because I have Arkham on the brain. Literally, there's a sale on PlayStation, and like I got the full Arkham collection. I'm probably gonna stream that if I can find the time to sit down and stream it. I want to stream that with y'all just because Dr. Hugo Strange here got me feeling a certain type of way. I want to replay some Arkham, so shout outs to him. He got me to buy like a $6 game, so shout outs to him. But shout out to the 3% of y'all who went with Matchmaker. I kind of just wanted to fill up all the poll options, so I was like, I need another character who was introduced. And then the Chad Matchmaker himself, who knew of Tristan, he got put on there. 3% of y'all went with him out of 320 votes. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. Y'all got good taste. And then Derriere Light, yeah, I figured. Like, her coming in second place wasn't necessarily too surprising. She, for very similar reasons that Merlin Light probably came in first place, was all over the last chapter. So I ain't all too shocked at y'all and your demonic tendencies. However, regardless of that, thank you so much for participating in last week's poll. Make sure you get your input in on tomorrow's poll, dropping at 12 p.m. Make sure your input is included for next week's review. Now, let's hop into chapter 93. What's up, guys? I'm here, and here we are to do chapter 93 of Four Knights of the Apocalypse, which is known as Madrigal of Youth. And, like, I logistically wonder, right? If I'm Nakaba's editor, if I like need to review these chapters every week, I need to see him, because he doesn't have assistants. Note, he doesn't have assistants. He does it all himself, like the madman he is. But he does have an editor. Chapters like this need to be approved. I have to sit down and wonder, like, how much clout does he have that he can just get away with some of this stuff? Like really, I am never at a loss for words until I am, because golly gee willikers, Nakaba, you are something else indeed. We gotta investigate you, dog. Like, we gotta investigate you. But regardless, let's hop right into the chapter itself. So we open up in room 101, and we get to see that number one meat ride. Like, legitimately, I'm trying to think of, like, in terms of meat riding competitions, like, if we were to host, like, just a whole competition of the most top tier glizzy goblin swallowing, like straight up meat devourers. I think Kion, he really would have a strong argument for number one. Like, I'm thinking of multiple other meat munchers, but the thing is, they're all spoilers for other manga, and I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. So, like, holding back, Kion's definitely up there, because there's no way on this good green earth, GGE, that we open up the chapter, and Kion, hold on, let me hit the Kion voice. I tried to give him Seven Deadly Sins gilthunder voice, but I just can't do it. I don't know, that voice is so specific. How do you plan to take responsibility or something? I can't even do it. That strains my vocal cords so much. Hold on, let me see if I can tone it down. Whew. How do you filthy, nasty, impure creature, plan to take responsibility if something happens to Sir Tristan? Why don't I slice you up, grill you, tear you, and feed you to the pigs? Like, Kyle, broski, like, here's the thing. If you were with Jade, with Isolde, with Anne, with I think Nasiens would mess you up. But like, if you were with any of them, then I could completely understand this kind of mentality. Like, don't get me wrong, I could see it. I could even understand it. Because, you know, with your magical abilities, you could be low-key kind of threatening. And sure, well, you need to put that tongue away, young man. I don't think anyone in the room you're currently in will be interested in such an appendage, especially when it's forked like that. I gotta say, dog, do you realize who you're talking to? Like, do you have a fundamental understanding of the individuals that you are currently threatening? Because you know who he's speaking to with that kind of malice, that kind of hatred, that kind of vitriol? He's speaking to Percival, and you know, Percival's a nice guy. Don't get me wrong. Percival, he's a real cool kid. Sure, he sucked the life out of Kion's arm because, you know, Kion committed treason. Still don't know how Kion got away with that. Obviously, he has connections. His pops is literally like the Grand Cardinal or whatever. But still, definitely a little bit of treason right there. But he's talking to Lancelot. I'm sorry, Kion, you are not one of the four knights. Unlike Gawain, if she started talking smack to Lance, which she hasn't done, by the way. Gawain has been smart enough, or just luckily avoiding Lance enough that she has not talked smack to him just yet. Lance can't do anything about that. He needs her. She has a title. Kion, you're expendable, dog. You're expendable. Like I already said, we got a lot, and I mean a lot of side characters right now. Kion, all you are is one, not even a shining road, a sucker punch, a flick away from being... I'm not even sure you would end up in the capital of the dead. Meat munchers like you go straight to purgatory. But regardless, we do get to see that Percival's like, but I said all I wanted to do was try rock, paper, scissors again. Then Tristan lost it. I had to go to the two shared person room, didn't he? It's fair and square. You need to go munch something else other than his meat, Kion. I'm sick and tired of you. You're ugly, you're stupid, and you're dumb. You're lucky that I gave you your arm back. I should have taken your throat instead of Jade's. At least Jade know... I don't know why I'm making Percy. But the thing is, we see that Lance was like, hey, let me load with y'all real quick. I am so powerful and so amazing that I really couldn't even care less who I double up with. So if it's really a problem, I will kick you out of this room. Nah, but we see that Kion, with that same vitriol, is like, then great. If we didn't start over, you were the one who was supposed to double up. Kion, why, bro? Like, is it really that? Like, here's the thing. I would get it if Tristan was like fodder. I would get it if Tristan was one of you. But I think you know for a fact, like, he's nigh on indestructible. Like, he has two different layers of immortality, for one, like longevity in general, because he is a direct descendant of deities. Or maybe, it depends on how you think his soul works out with like the whole body. At least he has one layer of immortality, because he had a direct biological descendant of the Demon King. You may be able to argue that he's more Bartra than he is supreme deity, because, you know, Elizabeth incarnated through Bartra's family line, and thus he has a human body. But even still, he has that one layer. Then he has demon regeneration. Then he has goddess regeneration. And then his human side doesn't seem to be that weak. So, I don't know, Kion. I think you need to start giving your bro more credit. Or, not bro, but literal cousin. Like, you should know this. However, we do get to see that Lancelot's like, dude, let me tell you, if you do not shut up, I will spread your entrails across the 7 worlds. I swear. No, he doesn't say it. I would like, I do kind of hope, like, it would be wrong, but I hope our characters get way darker by the end, so they're literally just, like, making outlandish threats like that, like, straight up, like, I will make sure that no one will know your name, because I will wipe you so thoroughly from existence that the very memory of you will be non-existent. Nah. Technically, no, you don't forget memories. Like, we've seen beings get erased from existence before, but you can still remember who they are. However, we do get to see that Lance is like, quit the accusation, man. The guy's the one who said a game is a game, so he chose to share a room. It's not that complicated. Get off his meat. And we see that Percy's like, oh, wait, Lancelot, you're laid up and trying to be drawn like one of Nakaba's French girls. What happened? And we see that Lance is like, something strange is happening. It seems like Nakaba Suzuki himself realized that I'm a bit too overpowered for the narrative and that Q&A question didn't help, so he decided to block off one of my most potent and powerful abilities for this short time that we're together, so that you don't have any sort of upper hand, and we could actually have some tension within the narrative, and thusly I can't read minds right now. So yeah, Nakaba, I mean, it's not backpedaling. Once again, it could just be a specific ability of Macduff, Antonek, or even Madrigal to just block off mind reading abilities. It's not entirely possible. You know, they are specifically being built or designed to fight against the Four Knights and or any of the other races. And it's not like the heart reading things of fairies is like some secret technique. It's a common thing. And Lance is specifically someone who encountered Arthur, who would probably have told his men, hey, one of them can read minds. Put some mental or magical barrier up so he can't do that, or also tell you're there from a mile away. So I can definitely see it makes sense in story why Lance is like getting gatekept from his own abilities, because you can't have him. I know that sounds bad, but you can't let Lance use his full abilities. Like, one of his abilities is too much. Just his gains alone are too much. So obviously locking off abilities like that seems pretty potent and pretty important to do, at least while Lance is with the group. I think we're gonna get them unlocked once he's on his own, finally, but for now, while it would be too much of an advantage for the whole group to have, I think it's safer that he doesn't have his ability. So I can work with it. Do I see Nakaba, like, directly going out of his way to nerf Lance because Lance is a little bit too broken? Yeah. But I don't blame him. I would do the same thing if I was in the exact same situation he was. However, we do get to see that Lance explains that it's kind of just the town itself that's making it hard to read minds. He doesn't have any particular, like, magical, or the people he's trying to read the minds of don't have any specific magical barrier up or anything like that. It's like the very town itself is preventing him from reading anyone's minds, meaning that Percy could be thinking anything right now, and Lance wouldn't be able to tell because the whole town's blocking him off. Interesting. I wonder if that's like a ward placed on the town by any of the Camelot people, or it's literally just a weakness of Lance, like, due to so many people mulling around. It's like an overflow of information. Like, he can't parse out any specific thoughts here. Because he says it's been tough reading anyone's minds, but he's not saying it's impossible. So, kind of up in the air on whether or not this is intentional or just, like, information overflow. Like, have you ever... I recently tried using multiple monitors, and, like, I don't know, I kind of got, like, brain freeze. I'm an old man, so leave me be. But, like, seeing 3 monitors at once was kind of like, like, my brain kind of glitched. So imagine that, but it's like hundreds of people and all their internal thoughts are flowing into your mind at once. Yeah, it'd be pretty difficult. However, we do get to see like, I think Nakaba just has fun drawing Kion. Like, there's no way. I think I would have fun drawing Kion. He's like, I can't stand thinking about it, not one bit. What if someone ransom seeking or an unscrupulous human? Like, it's so interesting. I don't know. For some reason, I get it. Words are words. But every time I, like, try to think that, oh yeah, I'm reading a time set hundreds, if not thousands of years ago, it's so weird hearing modern words and terms. Like, was that a thing back then? I don't want to look up the etymology of the word human tier and be like, hey, what did that mean at that time? But it's crazy that Kyan's really thinking about it and just so, like, unbelievably worried. It's hilarious, but it's concerning. However, we see that Percival trying to, like, lighten the mood, mainly Kion's, because Lance does not seem to care, and Percy, you know, he's probably scared. He's like, hey, you know, maybe we should just play a game, huh? And Kion's like, play! I swear, the only game I'll play is the... I don't know, what game involves dismantling your... What is that game? Surgeon? I forget. There was a game where you, like, would put I need hold on, I need to Google it. Operation. That's the game that I was thinking of. I wonder if it's specifically. I guess he wants to play that game with them because then he could tear them apart. However, we do get to see that if a game isn't enough for Kion, getting him to tear his hair out, Percival's like, okay, even though Lance has repeatedly said that this is an unsafe town where he can't read minds and we're all extremely high value targets to literally the most powerful kingdom on the planet, let's go into the festival where we can get lost, separated, and executed, or kidnapped. Yeah, let's do that. And Kion's like, go! And then he has a realization of what he could do if they go. And he's like, wait a minute. Of course. And while Percival's confused, Lancelot, with his sigh of annoyance, probably just completely realizes that the meat munching has only begun for the night. And thusly, there's still going to be a lot more going on. However, we do get to see that in room 205, this is where, like, I sit back and question, I'm not even sure what of this I can show. Like, if me, the YouTuber man, is sitting back and being like, can I do this? Like, I already had to censor Nakaba last week, right? I'm not sure if Nakaba's just feeling lonely. Maybe his wife's not doing too well, and he's just, trying to get it out through his artwork, because, art imitates life. But, like, I'm sitting back, and I'm wondering, Nakaba, do you need to go to jail? Like, jail, like, hold on, let me check something. Okay. So the age of adulthood in Japan is 18. It still is 18. I thought maybe it was different. And then I looked up the age of consent. And that's 13. So, by pure technicalities, this is fine. It's okay. Because all the characters included here are 16. But, like, I don't know. It's just creepy. I sit back and I wonder, like, this is the same guy who wrote Mael. This is the same guy who's writing Chaos King Arthur. This is the same guy who wrote Meliodas. Bon. Well, then again, Bon is also a case. Meliodas is also kind of a case. Escanor. He also has, like, a kind of casey moment. Like, he's written some of my favorite characters in recent memory. But at the same time, he does this. Like, how do I sit down and explain this to people? Like, if ever asked my interests, like, oh yeah, do you have any manga to recommend, Pencil? Yeah, I really like Seven-Deadly-Sins, and if you wanna have a really, in fact, let's do an experiment with you. Just read Four Knights of the Apocalypse. Tell me if you like it. And then they read it, and then they get something like this. Like, what? How do I logic this out? How do I make this work? I genuinely do not know. I don't know. Like, do you think that you can read Four Knights of the Apocalypse around your family? A new chapter dropped. Do you think you can really open it up around your family unless you are 100% confident that is a fighting chapter? Like, there are some chapters of Fortnite where I could open it up around my family and be perfectly fine. Chapter 93 is not one of them. What do you think your parents, your friends, your loved ones, the people you care about would think if they saw you reading this? What do you think? Y'all say y'all can't even listen to me without headphones sometimes. And I ain't even that bad. Okay, I am that bad. But still, I ain't atrocious. But golly gee willikers, fellas. Like, this is, like, here's the thing. Gawain. I have met many people in my life. Many. Who knows? I've lost count of how many people I've met. And they've been all varying levels, let's say. Varying levels of thirsty. Varying levels of down bad. I've met people who would do despicable things for just a whiff of something. And Gawain, in comparison to the people I've met who are down bad, down atrocious, down abyssal, down Mariano, you're different. You're different. I've never on this good green earth encountered in fiction or reality a person so down atrocious. What in the... Gawain, you are down universal. This is a multiversal feat right here. This is outerversal. This is outerversal atrociously down badness. Like, what in the world? Like, here's the thing. Here's the context for the situation. The view from up here looks wonderful, don't you think? Take a look, you two. And you know what Gawain says? You're right. And notably, she is drooling and licking her lips. Like, here's the thing. I've been hungry before, right? I've been extremely hungry before, indubitably hungry. Like, it's just, there have been times where I just haven't eaten all day, and or there are times where I like was accidentally forced to fast because I was just so busy all day I could never actually sit down and eat, so I went to sleep. I woke up that day, didn't eat breakfast, didn't eat lunch, didn't eat dinner, didn't have any snacks. All I had was maybe a bottle of water, and then woke up the next day and was busy until the tomorrow's dinner. I've gone through times where I've been unbelievably hungry, and even then, you would not catch me licking my lips and drooling at the finest of meals. At the finest of meals. Put my favorite food in front of me after 3 days or a day and a half of starvation, and you still wouldn't catch me slobbering and foaming at the mouth, Gawain. But here you are. And you are like... I can't even, like, I don't even feel like describing it because this is wrong. I don't know. Like, knock up at jail, knock up at jail. I don't know. Gawain, jail too. Like, juvie, whatever you need to get put in, you need to get put in. Cause, and like, I don't know how they don't notice it. Like, here's the thing. These are, by the context of this series, at least assumingly, at the time, I guess they count as adults. Because 16 is apparently the age of adulthood, I guess, in the Four Knights world. So, like, they should be... I get Isolde maybe not noticing it. Because, you know, Isolde seems very oblivious. Like, just straight up 100% oblivious. But Anne? You're telling me, I guess because she just assumes Gawain is a girl, and that makes it okay? But this is the same person who just got on Percival's case for being, like, way less down bad. Like, here's the thing. Percival is also down bad. Don't get me wrong. Percival, down atrocious. He hadn't seen a woman in, like, 16 years of existence. Obviously, bro's down bad. But even still, he had limits. He had boundaries. He was not this water deprived, oxygen deprived, like whatever. He was not this nutrient deprived. Let's put it that way. But even still, Anne got on his case. So Anne, protect yourself. You are not safe. You are simply not safe. You are not in a safe environment right now. You are not in a safe space. And the thing is, she's stronger than both of you. By a long shot. By a wide margin. The only one of you with an actual offensive magic probably wouldn't even tickle her. If she really got down to it. She probably has some sort of magic ceiling. If she has absolute cancel, y'all are done. Y'all are done. And you know what Gawain offers? You know what Gawain says? This is just a suggestion. But for the sake of deepening the bonds of friendship between the three of us, what do you say we all wash each other's backs or warm each other by sleeping together? Y'all. Like, I'm not, like, unless I got the wrong chapter. Is this the wrong chapter? Am I reading the wrong manga? Am I reading Apocalypse of the Four Knights and not Four Knights of the Apocalypse? Like, something must be wrong. Like, there's no way Nakaba Suzuki, how old is Nakaba? Hold on. There is no way on this good green-blue earth that Nakaba Suzuki, I quote, 46-year-old man, sat down, picked up his pencil, sketched this all out, picked up his inking pen, inked this all out, wrote the dialogue for this, and then proceeded to send it to his editor, who looked at it, approved it, and then proceeded to send it to the people that published the manga, and then proceeded to have them approve it, and now this is the common flow. Like, realistically, this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. This is okay. This is okay. I get it. Pencil, it's a culture difference. You just got to get over it. I know. But I, it's like nigh on impossible. I'm sorry. It's like asking me to give up eating. I can't do it. This is just ballistic. And like, it's so ballistic that it's like bored. It may not even be funny. It's like creepy. That's the thing. It's not like, I can't take this so much as humor, but it's just weird. Like, I don't think this is haha funny. I think this is haha 911. Like, legitimately, I feel like I need to call somebody. I need to make sure Nakaba's okay. I need to check on him. Like, half of it's concern and half of it's also concern. Like, I don't know, this is just concerning. And we see that, like, Gawain is not, she's not subtle. I don't know. She's literally moving around, floating in the air, staring. She's getting she's breathing it in. Like, really, realistically. Like, how many of y'all, because I know a lot of y'all are in this demographic, would y'all ever be as atrocious as Gawain? Like, I saw, if put in the same situation Tristan was, or in the same situation Gawain is right now, would you be that atrocious? Would you be down that horribly? Let me know. Let me know. I want to genuinely know. I will give you all the same abilities as Gawain. I will give you all the same strength, speed, power, and willingness. All you need to do is tell me, let me know, person to person, individual to individual, whether or not you would be this down atrocious. I just want to know. I'm not going to judge you, I promise. I promise. Other people in the comment section, I don't know. I cannot control them. But at least me personally, I will not judge you. This is just for research purposes. Just research purposes. I need to know if y'all be down this atrocious. However, we do get to see that Isolde is unbelievably concerned about Sir Tristan, as she is another one of the Tristan meat writing fan club, and she's the co-vice president. Or no, she's the co-president along with Kion. Just meat, like I can completely understand why y'all can't listen to me without headphones. Sometimes I think back, I look at those comments and I laugh, like, oh yeah, that's nice. But then I think of some of the things I've said. And maybe I need help. But regardless, we do get to see that she's so worried that she's going to lose Tristan to some sort of femme fatale that somehow managed to end up in the same room as him. And to be fair, in this very specific case, her fears were in fact justified 100%. But still, like, come on now. How concerned do you have to, like, where's your own autonomy? What is the rest of your personality? Do you have any other interests? Any other hope? You seem to be entirely built. You and Kion both seem to be fundamentally structured around meat writing. Like, do you breathe anything other than his meat? Like, is there anything else in your diet? Is it just meat? Is it just his meat? And are you just gobbling it up every single moment of every single day for as long as you can? Like, I gotta know. Because I'm finding it harder and harder to believe. These characters were introduced over 40 chapters ago at this point, and yet they have no personality outside of meat writing. And being either, okay, they're Kion and Isolde's main personality are meat writing, and in Kion's case, it's just being a terrible person, and in Isolde's case, being oblivious. Is that all you have? Is there nothing else? Like, I'm sitting back right now and wondering, by end of series, if these characters are still alive by end of series, what am I going to look back on? Like, what am I going to appreciate about these characters? However, we do get to see that Anna's like, that's quite the imagination you got there, Isolde. Wow, totally not concerning about how deep his meat is down your throat. Wow. Can I say that? I'm going to keep it in. I'm going to see. But let's see. We do get to see that Gawain is like, hey, ladies. Why don't we just, forget about the prince? It's just going to be you, and me. I'll even get big for you. Like, once again, I'm very much a guy who likes to encourage people. I always want to help people put their best foot forward. I don't want anyone to do things half-heartedly, because you don't get things done that well if you do them half-heartedly. You got to put the full proper effort forward to be the best person you can be. But at the same time, if this is the best person you can be, if these are the steps you are willing to take, if this is your direct goal and ideal, I don't think I can support you on this. I think your intentions are too impure. I think you need help. Mental, psychological, physical, biological, whatever words are needed, you need help. Sweet mother of mercy, you need help. However, we do get to see, once again, in a very similar vein to Kion, obviously, the festival is the trigger word that gets them going all out and crazy. However, we do get to see, assumingly, another familiar. Like, we know all of Arthur's knights, to some degree, have familiars. And this familiar right here is a little bird. I wonder whose familiar it is, though. I'm assuming it's either Macduff's or Anteniac. I don't think it's actually going to be Madrigal's. I think hers is separate. She already has Tristan. I don't think she needs her familiars going around hunting them down. So I'm assuming this is Macduff or Anteniac's. I would love it if it was Macduff's, because just like this massive, bulky guy having a tiny little bird on his shoulder. It's essentially what happened with Dahlia, where Dahlia was this big, buff, ripped dude. And like his guardian form, or the way his spirit was usually camouflaged, was a tiny little monkey that just sat on his shoulder. So if Macduff's familiar as this tiny little bird, it'd be hilarious. However, we do get to see they are being watched. And we cut over to room 207. And we see Jade, like, I think I have to take the jokes away. I think I do. He's actually a stand-up guy. Nagum is actually giving character to Jade. He's not just a nothing anymore. This one panel alone. I'm sorry. Please forget how... Oh, how can I not read English? I'm sorry. Please forgive how rude we... Ruve? Pencil. Please forgive how rude we've been. That's all I needed. Jade, I take back everything I said. You are now the best character, not only drip-wise, but now personality-wise out of your little group. Shoutouts to you, Jade. Shoutouts to you. And we see that Donny and Nasiens are like, what? Like, you good? And we see that Jade is like, hey, I'm sorry. It's the life of living with two meat munchers, you know, but Kion's attitude towards you, once he starts a tirade, there's just no stopping him. He's just a literal nutcase. He literally committed treason, but because his dad's the cardinal and everything, we can't convict him. You're like the third group of people he's either gotten executed or nearly tried to get executed. He has so many different charges on his record. I'm kind of shocked he's even allowed within 10 meters of anybody, especially Tristan. But I feel like I want to be like that sometimes. I get it. I know he's a pain. I know he's a war criminal, quite literally, but I don't think he really means any ill will or anything like that. I think he's just insane, nuts, crazy. And Donny, being completely logical, is like, dude, you're joking, right? Like, all he has is ill will. He has literally expressed no other character trait but meat riding and ill will. What do you mean he has no ill will? And I can't blame Donny for that. Like, here's the thing. It's not even like I'm just going off the first impression of Kion. I'm going off of all of Kion's screen time. He's been nothing but a terrible person. He's been nothing but a terrible human being. I have no idea. However, we do get to see, and Jade plops down on the bed. He's like, hey, let me live with y'all real quick. Me, Kion, and Isolde, we've been friends since we were kids, and ever since Sir Tristan saved us that one time, we couldn't help but love him. I'm kind of a meat rider myself, a meat marauder, if you will. And I'm assuming that's going to be... See, the thing is, he says kids. So I'm not sure. Maybe it's Grudge of Edinburgh Part 2, where we're going to see them, but I highly doubt it. I don't know why. I feel like kids implies younger than 13, and I believe everyone will be 13 at the time of that movie, so... Not exactly sure if that's the time period we're thinking about, but if it is earlier, then I hope we do get to see that interaction, because maybe it would justify Kion's munching. But then again, Kion and Tristan were always cousins. They should have at least known each other. However, we do get to see that Kion is something that they've already experienced. They've already experienced his deep, fascinating love for his flesh and blood cousin. And Jade's like, and me. The dude's, he's so amazing. And mommy, I mean Isolde. And we see that Donny looks up and spots something, and it's another familiar. And notably, it is a spider. I'm just assuming these are familiars because, like, we don't give the spotlight to random animals here in Four Knights of the Apocalypse. They're probably going to end up being familiars. However, with that being the case, we do get to see that the reason Kion is apparently so hard on the group is because he worries too much for Sir Tristan. Yeah, the goddess demon human hybrid who's literally like slapping around commandments. Yeah, obviously he's in consistent danger that Kion of all characters will be able to help him out of. And Donnie's like, dude, you just can't make excuses for a guy like that. He just is a terrible human being. And Jade's like, you know, you're right. Which, once again, I'll give Jade big W credits for. He's not trying to defend Kion anymore. He's like, yeah, he's willing to acknowledge the flaws of his homie. And I think that's something that's very important to do. And I can definitely respect Jade for doing that. However, we do get to see that Nasiens asks, well, why are you telling us this now? Like, what provoked it? And Jade is like, oh, well, I mean, we're in the same room, and we're holy knights who support the Knights of Prophecy. So I thought we'd have an honest talk, you know, just guys being guys, dudes being dudes. I figured it'd be normal. Once again, I'm liking I don't know. It's such a quick turnaround. This chapter is filled with so many meat munchers and meat marauders and down atrocious people that I wouldn't think I'd get amazing characterization. But no, Jade's just a cool kid. He's a cool cat. I respect his hustle. It's crazy. It's crazy to say, but Jade, a character who I've been clowning on ever since his introduction, I think it's kind of crazy. And Donny, sensing the broness that could exist with Jade and him, is like, yo, put him up, dog. And Jade's like, huh? And we see that Donny's like, hey, you know what? Whatever. We may be traveling with a literal war criminal, but let's let bygones be bygones and do our best together. Jade, right? And we see that Jade's like, you know what? We ain't half bad. It ain't fist bumps. And we see that Nasiens blitzes Jade, and he's like, hey, you like Isolde, don't you? And Jade is like, wait, me? What? I mean, don't get me wrong, like, she built nice, you know, cute face and all, but like, and like, she's really sweet and cares about big things, and she's big, you know, in more ways than one, you know what I'm talking, like, it's so interesting. I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think back. I mean, I definitely had conversations and stuff like that about crushes and stuff at 16, but I mean, like, I guess it's because, like, we would tell each other, like, we wouldn't get like jumped like this, like, we wouldn't be like, hey, you like so and so, don't you? Like, that never happened, at least not with my friend group. We never did stuff like that, but we'd be like, yo, y'all need to hear me out, and then we would have like the most atrocious like, man, we did have fun. Did y'all ever have situations like Jade is in right now, where someone just could read you and could tell who you liked? Like, was that ever a situation for y'all? I don't know. Maybe I just didn't have. My friends and I were probably around the same level of intelligence, so maybe we just weren't that perceptive or didn't pay that much attention to that. However, we do get to see that Jade is like, hey, I mean, like, even if I did like her, right? Even if I did want to, you know, do it and get down and dirty, she loves Tristan. Like, more than anything in the world. Like, I'm pretty sure if she had to choose between Air and Tristan, she'd probably choose Tristan. That's how confident I am that she's down atrocious. So I don't really got a chance. I really am not even competing. We're not in the same league. And we see that Nasiens, yeah, he understands. And he sees like, yeah, you know, I get it. Even so, there's no helping with liking her, right? And we see that Donny, absolutely oblivious. Donny's me and my friends. Donny's 100% me and my friends. He's like, what's cooking on here, guys? I don't really get it. And we see Jade's like, hey, wait a second. If we're accusing people and liking people, you have a crush on the shorty, don't you? And we see Nasiens we've seen Nasiens a little bit flustered, but like, He bludges up, his hair rises up, he goes super Nasiens too, and like he gets outed. However, of course, he's not fully outed. He's like, hey, what makes you say that? And Jade's like, seriously? Really? I thought it was obvious. And Galahad, was it? She looks strong-willed, but I think you and her would make a good match. And we see Nasiens realizes that his real secret is safe. So like, obviously, if you don't think Nasiens loves Percy at this point, have we been reading the same manga? Have we been flipping through the same pages of the same story, or are you reading something else? Are you reading Apocalypse of the Four Knights, not Four Knights of the Apocalypse? Let me know, because obviously this is a thing. However, of course, it seems like this just isn't a traditional thing at the time. Kind of like how it's kind of weird, but it's very similar to how Anne and Isolde seem to just gaslight themselves into believing that Gawain is not a literal, like, demon, beast, and monster, due to the fact that, oh, she's a girl too. She would never want that. It seems like the guys, or at least Jade in particular, considering he seems perceptive enough to take a guess that Nasiens has a crush on somebody in his group. Even he is like, men on men. Nah, that could never happen. Obviously, he's got to be a crush on the girl. And we see that Nasiens is like, oh, perfect, my secret's safe. Yeah, guilty as charged. And we see Donny, ever imperceptive, is like, whoa, didn't see that coming. You got a thing for stubborn, stuck-up ladies? And we see that Nasiens is like, dude, chill. And Galahad is a kind young woman. And it depends. It definitely depends, Nasiens. Like, sometimes I agree with you, but at the same time, I can see both sides of their arguments for Donny and Nasiens. And we see that as Nasiens lets out a sigh of relief, realizing that his secret is still safe, we realize that Jade's like, wait a second, if we're bonding, you know, we just talking and spitting game real quick. Donny, what kind what kind of ladies do you like, my man? And when you see the Donny's like, well, if you have to know, I'm a man of quality. I'm into ladies like Queen Elizabeth. Dude, I want you to fight Meliodas. Just for that alone, I almost want to make a Donny versus Meliodas versus battle. Just so you get one shot for that. You want to know what happened to the last two people who wanted Elizabeth for Meliodas? They got slammed on the ground, and Elizabeth needed to save their lives. And they were Meliodas' own flesh and blood in his head. Esteros wasn't actually, but still, close enough. Come on, dog. You got to do better than that. However, with that being the case, we see that Nasiens is sitting back and is like, wow, I really am that weird. Or am I really that weird? Like, he's legit thinking about what's going on and how he compares and stacks up. And with that being the case, he's going to identify with Gawain a lot. I feel like Nasiens and Gawain is going to be an underrated duo of their both of them being down atrocious. But it'll be Nasiens holding Gawain back from being too down atrocious. And I don't know. I'm definitely excited to see the solo groups go out on their adventures. Tristan's group, kind of the least though. I still won't lie. It's just that, like, even with Jade becoming a W character, like, it's just gonna be constant meat munching. I don't know. Unless Tristan loses control, I don't think I'll be too interested in theirs. However, we do cut away to room 304, and we see that people walk by and see a very concerning sight. And the woman asks, what are they up to? And the man's like, just don't look at them, and we won't invoke their meat munching. And we see that Kion and Isolde are leaned up against Tristan's door, desperately listening for something. And like, y'all, it can never be that deep. I don't know. At least to me, it can never be that deep. Leave the man alone. Let him experience the world, gosh darn it. He is apparently a full-grown adult in this timeline, or in this universe. Let him be. However, we do get to see that Tristan's like, you know, he's blushed up. He's like, and he's sitting on, ironically enough, he is sitting on the same bed, which is interesting. But he's like, how long do you plan on facing away? And Tristan's like, hey, if we're asking questions, would you please put on a shirt? Or like close it? Or like just get dressed like a regular human being? So Pencil doesn't have to censor this too? And we see that the woman, who does actually have her own familiar too, she has a butterfly. So all three familiars are here, so these are all definitely Chaos Knights. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that these are all Chaos Knights. We see that Madrigal is like, oh, this? She's like, what was this purposeful? Like, in the original timeline, was she planning to do this to Lance? Like, how would Lance even respond? Would he care? I want to see all the Four Knights' reactions. Like, plug them all into this situation. Gawain would love it. Gawain would be like, take it all off. Remove it. You don't, in fact, you know what? I'll help you. And then tear the shirt off. Gawain would tear it. Like, Gawain would be so into it. Gawain would be down 100% for it. Percival, he'd be fighting his urges because he promised Anne, but obviously Percival's weak-willed. So he'd probably give into it too. Lance would probably just be like, alright, whatever. Have a shirt, good night, and would pass. It would pass out. However, we do get to see that Madrigal's like, I'm just not good at these kind of things. And Tristan's like, at wearing clothes? How do you not get good at that? And she's like, really more the culture than the clothes, I suppose. Like, it's hard to button up, see? But you're telling me you came here with no clothes? Like, why are you wearing a cultural shirt? What happened to your actual clothes? This whole thing smells Slim Shady. Like, not even Slim Shady, thick Shady. It just sounds weird. We do get to see that Tristan gets a straight on look at him. He absorbs them. His eyes bulge out trying to reach him. And Isolde's like, do you have a plan, Kion? Like, do I have to bust the door down? And we see Kion's like, I have no choice. Sylph. Sylph. He brings out his magic, and the Sylph, it slides under there. And we see that Isolde's like, wait, what order did you give it? And Kion's like, we're gonna have it. Relay the voices inside to us. And with that, the Sylph relays it just fine. He's like, fine, I'll do it. And they both realize that it's Sir Tristan's voice. And obviously, out of context, fine, I'll do it is a little bit concerning to hear. And once again, I wonder what I can and can't say. She's like, oh, your highness, you're so girthy. And You know what? I need jail time too. Me and Nagaba, don't give us the same cell. I'm concerned. But still, we see that she says, come on now. If you're going to do it, you got to do it fast. I can't do this though. I can't do. Nakaba's got to be on something right now. We see that Isolde, in her fury, hearing what sounds like Tristan losing his chastity, is like, "What are you doing, Sir Tristan?" as she knocks the door down. And we see that Madrigal is currently getting her shirt buttoned up, and we see that Tristan's like, "Oh, this is not the first time I've buttoned up. Oh no, this is the first time I've buttoned up somebody's shirt." So he's like, "Oh, come on, it slipped again. I can't bear to look." And we really see that the Merlin knockoff Madrigal is teasing him like, "Oh, are you really no good at buttoning shirts?" And then obviously Isolde is massively concerned to see the situation going on, and she immediately takes care of it. She buttons up the shirt, she puts on a skirt, and it's like, "Oh, there, are you satisfied? Are you done?" And Madrigal's like, "Oh, thank you. Well." And we see that Isolde's like, "Okay, I will take the room tonight. We're done." And the innkeeper, the matchmaker himself, is like, "Hey, ma'am, please stop. You can't break things in the inn." And Isolde's like, "Oh, sorry, I'll fix it right now." And they're like, "Huh?" Then we get to say that Madrigal, she ain't really letting go of Tristan. She's really trying to get in where she can fit in, or trying to get Tristan to get in where he can fit in, if you know what I'm saying. And he's like, "Oh, how about we go see the festival?" And like, leaving those two behind wouldn't be nice or anything like that. And we see that Madrigal is like, "Aight, let's have a nice talk, Prince Tristan of the Four Knights of the Apocalypse." And Tristan can obviously tell that it's gonna get down and dirty, and not in the way that people wanted to get down and dirty, but in the he may have to fight for his life down and dirty. And we see that Tristan's eyes narrow as Madrigal's eyes narrow, and for some reason, like, I don't get it. While you have the resources, like, here's the thing, I'm definitely looking at Lance like an ability capsule. Like, I've been playing a lot of Fire Emblem Engage. I've been unhealthily addicted to the darn thing. So, like, it's like having a ballista in Fire Emblem Engage. Lance is a resource that you have a very limited time with. He's only in there for one level, and this is the one level you have Lance. Two levels, technically. Let's say 2 levels, because you had him in the previous level, which was Leonis. Now in the current level, which is Walnut, you're going to have him for here, and then maybe one more level after this. While you have him, the most broken knight to ever knight, why don't you go to him? Why don't you get his help? Instead of wandering off alone with a Chaos Knight whose powers you probably don't know. Like, in Seven Deadly Sins, a world where power is very, very important, but you can definitely still get hacked out, especially when you're in base, Tristan. I think it's very dangerous to go around without your win button. I don't know. I get it. It's for plot reasons. We can't have Lance scaring the plot away, like straight up scaring the villains away, but still, come on now, man. We do get to see that they're leaving out now, and the familiar of Madrigal is still chilling on the wall. That butterfly is still vibing. And we finally cut to room 309, and we see that Anteniac, I still can't say her name, has confirmed that in the register, all of them are staying at this inn, and their faces are confirmed too by their familiars. So they're gonna get him up out of here. And we see that, oh my lord, Macduff and his big beefiness as he pulls on a glove. Doctor Strange he's pulling on a glove just like Doctor Strange. He literally is just Doctor Strange. No, did you play Arkham recently? Like, there's no way this is coincidental. This is like Horikoshi lying. I 100% believe it's a lie. And saying that, "Oh, you're telling me a scarred brother from a very important family happens to have a bad relationship with their older sibling and wants to fight them? Be a shame if I ripped off..." Oh no, essentially Todoroki is Zuko. I think, maybe Horikoshi was being genuine, like maybe he just never saw Avatar and it was just pure coincidence, but their scars are literally on the same side. Like, I don't know, I get their stories are 100% different, but still. However, with that being the case, we do get to see that Macduff is like, let's be real, facing them all is too high of a risk. The night's long, so let's take our sweet time, essentially. Let's enjoy the festival, shall we? And the chapter ends. So, you see the next chapter is titled Incident on the Night of Prayer. Bada bing, bada boom. That's going to be interesting. I wonder if we're going to get some fighting, if we're going to just get a mishap happening. We see a lot of the crew has decided to travel together. Ironically enough, though, I see Isolde, I see Jade, I see Anne. I see Donny. I see Nasiens. I see Percival, but I don't see Lance. Did Lance stay behind? I feel like Lance wouldn't do that in character. Maybe he's just behind Isolde or something. I don't know. Unless Jade. No, that's definitely Jade. So I don't know. Very, very interesting. Overall, a down atrocious chapter. Like if I had to say one thing, the chapter was just unbelievably down atrocious. Like Nakama needs help. He needs someone go help the man out. He's obviously missing something in his life, so he's doing this. All the characters are down atrocious. It's still a fine chapter, don't get me wrong, but jeez, man, jeez. However, that's what I think. Please let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please do like, share, comment, and subscribe. And make sure that all notifications so you miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon down below. It's support for as low as $1 a month. Exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Now, thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with a Pencil, writing off.